All right, so what we're going to do now is we've hit our target, we've allocated the hits out. Well, what happens to these vehicles now that these hits are on them? And we're just pretend this is what happened for demonstration purposes. So these vehicles are going to have to make an armor save. Oh, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out the German arsenal so we can see these studs and see their armor. So here we go. And then we'll come back to what we see there. So let's look at tank. You know what the... Hold on for just a second. You know what, it helps if I actually get a book that has a stug in it. Can't believe I did that. I thought stugs were in every book. Oh, I found it! Alright, here we go. Alright, so, we'll look at this. Alright. So, here we go. Under tank hunters, we got the stug G. Alright. Here's the armor rating. We got a 7 front, 3 side. We're not worried about the top. That's only assault and artillery. So we're worried about these two. So 7, 3. So if I'm shooting in front, they're going to have a 7. If I'm shooting aside, they're going to have a 3. And what they're going to do is they're going to roll a d6 and add to that number. Alright, so we know that the number they need to roll, they're trying to beat, is the anti-tank, let me zoom out, of the one that shot. So we know these white dice were 10, so that's the number they need to beat is 10. These guys were 13. So let's zoom out here. And I'm going to zoom in on our wonderful studs so we can see what's going to happen to these guys. Alright, so, and the opponent then can just choose whichever. You wait till all the shooting's done from that platoon, allocated all the hits out, then you're going to start making your saves. There's no order of, okay, so these took first hits, so I have to roll these took second hits, so I have to roll these. No, just pick up. So this is on the side, and this was 4. So I'm going to roll the die and add 4. I need to get a 10 for this one, so I need to get a 6 at least. I got a 6. So, you know, I'm going to take this out for demonstration purposes because I'm glad this actually came out. So this tied, because it was 4 plus the 6, so it actually tied the anti-tank rating. So then, what the shooter has to do is they're going to take their tank, and I'm going to turn here for that. So we are looking, this is a Sherman. And if we go across, it says 3+. And it's going to be the same for the EZ8, which is down here. It's a 3+ also. Most tanks, it's a 3+. If I roll a 3+, I did something to this vehicle, since he tied my number. If I don't roll a 3+, I did nothing to it. So I'm going to take this die and try to get a 3 or higher. I rolled a 1. So you know what? He tied my number. I couldn't get my firepower. That vehicle's okay. Nothing happened. Boom, shell bounced off. This one's on front armor, and that's a 10. Because it's Sherman's got anti-tank 10. It's got a 7. So it's going to add 7 to this. And we got a 2. Oh, man, that's a 9. This one tied it. This one couldn't beat that 10. So we know that the Sherman's going to roll the firepower, a 3 or higher, a 4. So this beat their armor. The shell went in. This says the shell went in and went boom! That is one destroyed stug. So we got a destroyed stug. Alright, now, this poor guy has 2 13s on him. He's got a 7. He needs to roll a 6 just to tie like this guy did. If he doesn't, he's going to be in the same situation this one was in. So he's going to take his 2 allocated dice, roll, and you know what? Got a 5 and a 3. So neither of those at least tied the 13 that these easy 8s did. So the easy 8 shots need 3 plus. We got 1, 1, and 1, 5. All it takes is 1 success. When the guy fails his armor, another destroyed stug. Let's move down here. Well, this is a Sherman shot, a 10, the M4A3, or M4A1. On front armor of 7. There is a rule, though. Remember when it was beyond 16, it took 1 harder to hit? If it's beyond 16, the armor gets a little thicker. Because the shot slows down, the trajectory, and stuff like this. So we're going to add 1. So this is now an 8. Because it's beyond that 16. Any shot beyond 16, the armor goes up 1. So this is now an 8. He just needs a 2 just to not even try to get blown up. And he rolled a 2. So he tied it. So either this one makes its firepower and something happens, or it does not make its firepower and it gets bailed out. 6. Now, he penetrated, but it equaled the armor, so it's not going to be enough to destroy it. So the shell went in, kind of bounced around a little bit, and the guys in there go, whoa, whoa, what's going on here? So they're kind of keeping their heads down. So this becomes bailed out. So it's done. So that tank has actually survived. This one has survived. Let's see what happens to these two. So here we are with this one. Well, it's got 7 front against the 13, but it's beyond that 16, so it's an 8 now. So if it actually rolls a 6, nothing happens to it. If it rolls a 5, possibly bailed out or okay. If anything less than that, it's possibly destroyed. A 5. So it may be in the same boat this one is. So, since it's 1 hit, 3 plus, got a 5, that one is bailed out too. But it's still in the game. So now this one's bailed out. And of course I can't get that one to stick. There we go. Okay, now this one, side armor. Would be a 4. It's beyond 16, it's a 5 against a 10. 5 glances. Less than 5 penetrates. Oops. There we go, 4. Oh, so close. That's 9. Didn't have enough. That shell went in there. It's bouncing around. Is it going to destroy that view? 6. So the firepower was successful. So this one is destroyed. So that's what happened with that shooting. And I'll go a little bit more into the explanations of what happened. That was just a quick little demo, and we'll do it again. Okay, so when you are shooting either, and then the armor save is going to be the important thing to tell you what possibly could happen. If they roll and they beat the armor, the anti-tank, nothing happens to them. This shell just bounces off. So if it's anti-tank 10 and they roll above a 10, adding in their armor and that D6, they're fine. If they tie it, 2 possible things. Nothing happens to them, or they're bailed out. They do not get destroyed. So they might be safe. The shell kind of scared them. Or they might be bailed out. Well, the shell didn't scare them. They're like, it just bounced off. Or it might have scared them enough that they're going to be bailed out. They're hitting a deck. They may have jumped out of their vehicle, think it's going to blow up. If they can't tie or can't beat your armor, so they roll below, I mean not your armor, but your anti-tank, they roll below it, something's going to happen to their vehicle. It's either going to be bailed out or it's going to be destroyed. So, if you make your armor, you're clear. If you tie, you may be clear or you may jump out. If you fail, you're either going to jump out or be destroyed. So 2 clears, 1 clear, bail out, destroyed. So it's kind of like I almost look at it as a Z, because these 2 are the same, and then that same one switches down here, which is clear, clear, clear. So that clear jumped down here. Now you got a bailed out, clear, bailed out because you're tied. That bailed out then jumps down here, bailed out, destroyed. So clear, 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 bailed out, destroyed. So that's why I kind of like, that's how I picture it. That's how I remember. Clear, clear, that clear jumps down here, clear, bailed out, jumps down here, bailed out, destroyed. I hope that makes sense, but that's how I remember it, because I saw it in a chart. And that's just how I remember that those were the same. These 2, so these 2 are the same, these 2 are the same. So let's go through this again. And the Shermans are going to shoot them. So I'm going to take these off. You're no longer bailed out. You were bailed out. All right. So, we're going to take our shots here, and I'm going to do red again as the easy 8s. The whites are the M4 A1s. And they're going to get 2 shots each, needing 4s, because you shoot the easiest target. And that'll be these guys within 16 with no concealment. So I'm making sure, okay, here we go. Needing 4s. Okay, so this is what I got. So I got 1, and then 1 anti-tank 10, anti-tank 13. So we're going to have to allocate those hits out. So valid targets, we already know about that. No priority targets. No gone to ground. Operational before non-operational. 16 inches first. So we got this 16. Low armor, low anti-tank. Higher armor, higher anti-tank. Can't go to that one yet, because I got operational vehicles back there. Lower armor before the higher armor. So there we go. Allocate it out. Let's roll our saves. This anti-tank 10 against a 4. Tied. Now remember, clear, clear, moves there. So if I don't make it, clear. If I do make it, bailed out. So I need a 3+, because I do my firepower. Oh, failed. A 1. Nothing happened. It bounced. Miraculously, it survived the Sherman hit. This is going to be a little different. This is going to be a little tougher. It's got 7 on the front versus this 13. So it just needs a 6. And hoping that it does what this one does. If it rolls anything but a 6, it's possibly destroyed. It got a 2. So that bailed out moves here. So it's either going to be bailed out or destroyed. Bailed out 1, 2, 3 or higher, destroyed. So let's see what this does. And we got a 1. A 1. So that means it survived somehow. It survived that shot, that anti-tank 13. It is now bailed out. Moving down here. Well, it's got normally 4, but remember it's beyond 16, so we add 1. That puts it to a 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. This is a 13. It can't even roll a 13. So it's automatically going to penetrate. So we go immediately to firepower. 5. Guess what that means? When we penetrate, when the armor can't protect it, and we make a firepower, we destroy. Now, we got this one. 7 on the front. It's beyond 16. It's 8 now. Against the 13. So 5 glances, like these guys did. 6 keeps it. It just bounces right off. That's cocked. And we got a... Oh my gosh! Can you believe it? I rolled a 6. The shell bounced. So there we go. That is what happened that time. Actually, they did pretty good this time. They did pretty good survivability on that. Okay, so... I talked about when they become destroyed and all that, they become a piece of terrain. Also, you can remove the smoke to see about line of sight and everything. So there we go. Oh, I'm disappointed. This Stug should have been gone. Alright. Unarmored vehicle saves. So, one of those things is, I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about some of this. I'm not going to demonstrate this. But one of them would be like, I'm going to try to get to where I can see this. There we go. So, one type of unarmored vehicle could be like a Jeep. That's an unarmored. Remember, it's the dash, dash, dash. So we got this Jeep. What save it makes is, it's got no armor. So it needs to roll 5 or higher to survive any of those hits. Whether anti-tank 1, anti-tank 30, it doesn't matter. If it rolls 5 or higher, that unarmored vehicle survives. Now, unlike the armored vehicles, if unarmored vehicle gets destroyed, it's removed. You don't put smoke on it. You don't come in here and go, all right, I'm going to put smoke on it now. You don't do that with unarmored vehicles. Unarmored vehicles get taken off the table. Now, if it's an unarmored vehicle and it is a warrior, not a transport, it's an actual warrior unarmored vehicle, or an independent team, or a reconnaissance. Now, that could be reconnaissance unarmored, including motorcycle reconnaissance. They get a 3+ save instead of the 5. So they only need, I can get it, they only need 3 to survive, compared to everybody else that's unarmored needs a 5. So there's a little special rule with warriors, independent teams, and reconnaissance being unarmored. But still, if they're killed, you take them off. Now, there is a special deal, and I talked about this in one video a little bit about gun shields. So gun shields, and it'll say on the arsenal, so I'll bring one up so you can see. There we go. So if we look here under notes, and nothing, smoke, blah, blah. Oh, gun shield. It's telling us what has the gun shield right there. So if it has a gun shield and this tank is shooting at it, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This tank is shooting at it. If it draws a line across the front here, this is drawing a line across its front, that gun shield means that if I fail my save, you have to do a firepower test, which was that 3+, to actually take me out. If it gets around to the side or behind, that gun shield's worthless. It does nothing. You fail your save, you're dead. Okay, so if you're on the front, just like front armor, this is its front armor. The front armor is basically, I may fail my save, but you need a firepower to actually take me out. Now you're on his side armor, there's no gun shield. If it fails its save, it is taken out. So you can think of that as kind of like its armor in a way, if that helps. So that is what a gun shield will do. So we're going to talk a little bit about gun teams. Gun teams which is like this, and your machine gun. Don't forget your machine guns, your mortars, or gun teams. So these guys have a same save as the unarmored, 5. So they're going to need a 5 or higher to stay in the game. So 5 or higher, fails its save, needs to do a firepower, gets a 4, it's destroyed, gets a 2, it lives. Over here, fails, dead. So don't forget about that gun shield, very important. You pay for it with the points because it's costing a little bit more than those without gun shields. Now, if a gun team has gone to ground, so let me get my gone to ground marker. So that means they didn't move, didn't shoot, didn't assault. They're gone to ground. They don't have a 5+ save anymore. They have a 3+. So it's kind of like that reconnaissance. If they gone to ground, they get kind of that reconnaissance save of 3+. Instead of their normal 5. Lose that gone to ground, they're back to 5s. They go to ground, they're back to 3 save, 3+ save. And it doesn't matter about the anti-tank, just like that unarmored vehicle. If this Easy 8 anti-tank 13 shoots at him, this is the anti-tank 10 shoots at this, it's the same save, whether it's 5 or 3, to live. There's no armor on this, then that, you know, you roll your armor and all. It's just a save. Gun teams and infantry have a basic save they have to make. And just like unarmored vehicles, if they get destroyed, take them off. The only things you leave on the table if they get destroyed are armored vehicles, whether open-topped or fully armored. Unarmored infantry, gun teams, they get taken off the board. Now infantry. So let me give a little infantry, guys. So that could be like this. It could be a bazooka. This, remember, in your arsenal, it tells you bazookas are infantry. Infantry got a 3+ save. So they get that little bonus. If they're going to ground, it's a 3+ save. It doesn't matter. They just get a 3+ save. Little different than what the gun team had. They were 5, gone to ground, then they go to this. These guys get a 3+ save. The only reason these guys would have to do a firepower test on them, because if they fail that save, they're dead. They're taken off. Is if they're in bulletproof cover. So they dug in. They're in bulletproof cover. They fail their save. They have to do a firepower test to actually kill them. So if you're in bulletproof cover, the attacking people have to do a firepower test to destroy you. So if they're using their machine guns, they have to roll a 6 to actually take them out if they fail. So let me do a little demonstration of that. So it's going to shoot its main gun. Needs 4s to hit. And I hit once. I roll a 3 and a 5. So I hit once. These guys get their 3+ save. They roll a 5. They're okay. Nothing happened. But let's say they roll a 1. Normally, they would be taken out. Remember, we do the allocating of hits. However, they're dug in. They're in bulletproof cover. They may have failed, but they might. Their bulletproof cover may save them. So this is shooting a machine gun. Machine gun says firepower was a 6. Main gun was a 3. Machine gun's a 6. This has to roll a 6 to kill this guy. A 4. Guess what? Didn't kill it. Even though it failed its save, its bulletproof cover saved it. And then that's true for gun teams too, as far as bulletproof cover. You know, I talked about the gun shield, but if they can dig in and get the bulletproof cover. Buildings give you bulletproof cover, some walls give you bulletproof cover and stuff like that. There is a rule called big guns, and they're pretty much like bunker busters and I'm drawing a total blank on what they're called. breakthrough guns. So breakthrough guns and bunker busters. And it'll say in that notes whether or not they are bunker busters. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, here's one. So I'm going to go, again, Arsenal's going to tell me. So I go to Arsenal, and I'm going to actually go to the artillery here. And if I go to this top one that says priest, and you go across, it says over here in notes, this weapon here is a breakthrough gun hull mounted smoke. That's what that weapon can do. If I want to shoot to 72 inches, this is the bottom row and it's smoke bombardment. So this one at 24 inches, one shot, anti-tank 9, 2+ firepower. As long as I don't roll a 1. Wow! But it's a breakthrough gun. There it told me, breakthrough gun. Here's another breakthrough gun. Breakthrough gun. So it tells you in the notes. So this one is, if it's shooting stray shot 24, it's a breakthrough. If it's doing artillery, it's not a breakthrough gun. So this goes with this shot. This space goes with this bottom shot. So it's telling me, so breakthrough guns and bunker busters, when they hit infantry, unarmored vehicles, gun teams, they don't get a save. So those poor infantry, if a priest pulls up here and shoots them and hits them, they're dead. There's no save. However, if they're in some type of bulletproof cover, that priest will still have to make that firepower test to kill him. So breakthrough guns and bunker busters eliminate saves on infantry, gun teams, and unarmored vehicles. If they're in bulletproof cover, it will still require a firepower test to take them out. Another thing I want to talk about is a situation where, like, we have this tiger and its EZ8 wants to shoot its side. Okay, so it's going to shoot its side. But what if that turret could be turned like that towards that EZ8? And so we're going to draw a line across its front here. And actually, it's on the front of this turret, but the side of the tank. So what do you hit? Do you hit the front armor or do you hit the side? It's really easy. You just roll a d6. The body's low. The turret is high on the tank. So that's what happens. If you roll low, you hit the side. If you roll high, you hit the front. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this case, 4. We would hit the front. If we had to roll again, 5, front. Come on, roll low. There we go. There's a 3, so we would roll low. If we hit twice, we roll 2 dice. We got 1 low and another 1 low. Got lucky on that one. So 2 low hits, so that's going to be on the side armor. So basically, draw a line from the front, and if you're on the front of the turret, but on the side, and also back same side, or on the side of the vehicle, roll to see which one you hit. If it's like this, well, you're on the side. You're still on the side, still on the side, still on the side. You know what? Now you're getting towards the front of the turret. So are you on the front or side armor? No, front armor. Another thing that could happen, kind of go over some rules here, is your vehicle could be bogged down or bailed out in this situation. Either one of these. Okay, I'll just put both those down as a reminder. It could be either situation. And this tank gets hit, it doesn't get destroyed, but it gets bailed out again. Well, you don't put 2 bailed out markers or a bogged down and a bailed out marker. You don't do that. What happens is this tank has to immediately take a motivation test. And that would be your reluctant, confident, or fearless. So if you're reluctant, you need a 5 or higher. Confident, 4 or higher. Fearless, 3 or higher. So you roll the die. Let's say this is confidence, so it needs 4 or higher. Got bailed out again. Doesn't matter if it's bogged down or bailed out. It's getting that second marker. Put down. Roll 4 or higher. Oh, it rolled a 3. That is not good for that. If you get bailed out a second time, or if you're bogged down and you get bailed out, and you fail that motivation test, your vehicle is destroyed. The guys ran off and it's considered destroyed. If you make that motivation test, let's say we roll a 4, then you're still bailed out or bogged down. You just get rid of that marker. Now, let's say you got hit twice and it bailed you out twice. Well, you're already bailed out. You got bailed out 2 more times, so that means you have to make 2 rolls, and that's an immediate test. It isn't wait till the end of shooting. It's an immediate test. 4 or higher. Well, we got a 4 and we got a 3. So guess what? 4 is successful, 3 is a failure. Destroyed. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about transports being hit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear a little bit of this out, because this is just going to be talking a little bit about what's going to happen to him. So what we got is, we got these 3 transports. And this one's carrying 3 stands, this one's carrying 3 stands, and it's got the commander in it. Okay, and they get hit. Now, armored transports. It gets destroyed. So, boom! It's armored. Even if it's open top, it's armored, so it stays on the table. So it gets destroyed. You put that on there. Now, what's going to happen is they got destroyed. The guys are going to have to jump out. However, they may have been destroyed when the vehicle got destroyed. No matter what the team is, their save is a 5+. It doesn't matter if they were those infantry. They had a 3+ save, they go to 5. So you're going to have to go, all right, this one, oh, 1 lives, 1 dies. Lives, dies. Now here's the big one. This is why, again, I talked about marking it. This is the commander. Oh, the commander just died. Now, we had 2 survivors. So here they are. There's our 2 survivors. They have to do what's called dismount and fire. These are all destroyed. Okay, these are armored vehicles. Armored, not unarmored. Very important. Armored vehicles. So these guys are going to have to dismount under fire. These are all destroyed. Everybody else is destroyed except for these guys. They can move up to 4 inches. However, they can't move closer to the team that shot them. So if the team's this direction, they can go any direction except for towards that shooting team. So let's say this Jeep shot them and destroyed them. They cannot go that way. They can go that way, that way, that way. They move up to 4 inches away. And then of course these are destroyed. So that's armored. Now, if there's not enough room to put these guys down, the ones you can't put down are destroyed. And they can't sit on top of these. Because remember, we can't stop on top of terrain like that. Just like when you're climbing over a tank, that's terrain, you can't stop on top of it, even if it's destroyed. You can stop before, side it, and all that. So we can't put anybody here, and so forth. So if there's not enough room, they're destroyed. However, transport teams, well, these can't. So if they're armored, that's it. They sit there. These guys move back 4 inches. If there's not enough room to put everybody down, those they can't put down are destroyed. Now, let's say so if any of these are destroyed or bailed out, what's going to happen is the platoon is going to have to make a motivation test. You just roll 1 die for the platoon, and if they make their motivation, which is the reluctant, fearless, if they make their save, if pass, all the bailed out ones immediately remount. These are not destroyed, so let's pretend like they got bailed out. They immediately remount if you make that, and they are no longer bailed out. If you fail, everybody jumps out, and these are sent to the rear. The transporters go, "Oh, guys, get out of here. This is too heavy for us. We got to get out of here. We're not fit for this." So, armored transports get destroyed. 5+ save. They jump out. If you got any bailed out, they'll jump out. But if you make your check, they get back in. They're no longer bailed out. If you don't make your check, they stay out, and these get taken off. Now, unarmored transport, which I'm just going to throw the Jeeps down here for this purpose. So, unarmored transport, for every hit that it takes, whether it's destroyed or not, if it got hit 3 times, and it made all 3 of those saves, and nothing else happened to it, everybody in that vehicle has to make 3 each. So this has to make 3, and this would have to make 3. 5+ saves. So people in transports, 5+ save. Just get that, that's their save. No matter what, it's 5+. So if this was destroyed or hit, basically just say hit. For every hit, everybody in that transport has to take that many saves each. So this has to take 3, this has to take 3. If this only got hit twice, they each only have to take 2. So that's unarmored. So you see the difference between the armor, it's 1 save. Unarmored, it could be multiple saves. Now, I shouldn't say that, because if the armored vehicle gets 2 destroyed hits on it, which could happen, those anti-tank 13 comes in, you fail both of them, then they will have to take that many saves from if they're in an armored transport. And it gets destroyed twice, they will each have to make 2 5+ saves. This, no matter if they hit or whatever, it's that many saves. Now, if everybody in that transport's destroyed, so they fail their save, they fell, there's nobody else left in it that this is carried, this is removed. It's sent to the rear. They're carrying nobody. If it was destroyed, they immediately dismount under, and they survive. They dismount under fire, and that's it. Don't go closer to the shooting team. They move 4 inches. However, they are pinned now. So there's another difference between armored and unarmored. Unarmored is not as good a transport as armored, I mean, as far as protecting. So then, the vehicle got destroyed, they made their save, they dismount under fire, they are now pinned. Now, I did talk about that you can transport people on your tanks. So let me get my tank out here. And it's carrying these two guys. This is, in a way, just like unarmored transport. Every hit that this thing takes, they have to make a 5+ save. If they fail, and it's not that this is destroyed, it's just if it's hit. So if this guy hit twice, again, this has to make 2 saves. They have to make 2 saves, and it's that 5+. So it is kind of dangerous riding on vehicles, but you can do it. And just like unarmored, because in a way, if you think about it, this is unarmored, you're riding on the back here. There's nothing really protecting your side. You're kind of exposed a little bit. If it's destroyed, they dismount under fire. We talked about that. At 4 inches, no closer. And just like the unarmored, they become pinned. So the unarmored and riding on a tank are very similar. I did forget one thing about the unarmored transports, which I do need to cover because this is important. It's one of those little rules you may forget. If you had, let's say I got some other transports, these unarmored, and this is unarmored, not armored, but unarmored. So these unarmored are moving along, and this one is destroyed. Everybody has to leave this transport. That's part of this platoon, and it's sent to the rear, and everybody's pinned down. So unarmored transport, if one gets destroyed, all of them are going to get taken off, but only one of them is destroyed, can't come back for the rest of the game. These guys can come back, but they go, this is too hot, it's too dangerous, guys get out now, we're leaving. And then they go. And everybody gets out, dismounts under fire, pinned. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about if you have a no command team. So whether it's a tank, we got these guys up here, and they have their commander here leading them, and he gets killed. So they no longer have their commander. It's just the regular infantry guys. They cannot move. But can still rotate. If they were in a transport, they can dismount and they can dig in. And they can continue shooting. They just can't move. And they'll take motivation tests. They just can't move. So you want to watch when you lose your commander. It'd be the same thing. I got these tanks here moving along, and I had to allocate out, hit, save, failed, got destroyed. So now this was their commander, got destroyed. They don't have a commander anymore, they cannot move. But they can still fight. So that's one of the bad things about losing your commander. Now there is a few things I do want to cover about bogged down and bailed out command tanks. So let's say this is a command tank that's bogged down or bailed out. At the end, oh, can't even see what I'm pointing at probably. Okay, so here we go. This is a bailed out command tank. It could be bogged down too, like this one that's way down here. And it's your commander at the end of any step. So starting step, movement step, shooting step, assault step, any one of those, at the end, he can take over another tank after any platoon morale checks are done. Okay. It has to be within command distance, and he takes it over. So basically now, he can take over this tank, and this is now the command tank, and the other guys are in the belled out one. Now, there is a special situation that would be this. Here's the EZ8, here's the M4A1. M4A1 gets is bogged down, or it's bailed out. He can take over this one. It's not that you switch the tanks. I switched them because they were the same. My commander now is running around in this one and leaves this one behind. Now, platoon command team. So going back to like these Shermans here, a platoon command leader can only take over another tank or infantry or whatever, can only take over something that's in his same platoon. The company, or second in command, can take over any tank in their company. And then there's a higher command, which some units can get, and they can take over any friendly tank. However, nobody can take over a tank that's from an allied platoon. So if like British and America is working together, you can't take over a British tank. If in that one situation with the EZ8 and the regular Sherman, his skill rating and everything transfers to the new tank. If it has like tank A skill, the tank A skill now goes to this tank. It follows that warrior. Any special rules follows that warrior to the new vehicle. If he takes over and it was a reconnaissance vehicle, like let's say this Jeep, he jumps into this Jeep. Well, this is a recon. He is not. This is no longer a recon. If he is recon and they're recon, it will stay a recon for him when he jumps in here. So we had that rule before about they both have to be recon to stay recon. And commanders allow the platoon, higher in company command team, allow platoons to reroll motivation tests. If they're bailed out or bogged down, they can't do that. So just keep that in mind. They're basically out of play for a little bit. Now, warrior casualties, they have little special rules. You can buy those warriors, so you're first in command, second in command. And any special warriors beyond that, you may like Patton or something like that, Wittmann. They have a special rule. If you destroy them through shooting or assault only, so not from a morale check, from shooting or assault, they may not actually be dead. The opponent, they destroyed this. Let's say this is summary, and this is Patton. Just pretend. I know you can't have a tank, but let's just for Patton. This is here, this is my first in command. We'll just do that. My company commander just got destroyed. Boom, his tank blew up. And I'm going to bring that. He may not be dead. He may still be in the game because he's a warrior. The opponent then needs to roll a 4 or higher to actually kill him. If they roll 1, 2, or 3, he's still alive and can take over another vehicle. Now, if they roll up 6, so he is dead. He's out of the game. He's injured enough. He's out. I lost my first in command, my company command. If they rolled, let's say, a 3. So they rolled a 3. Oh, you know what? He can take over another team. So he designates another friendly tank team, like this one, within command distance. So it can't be way across the board. So it's within command distance. And he takes it over. They are now part of this, but they're destroyed. So this would be counted as part of that platoon that got destroyed. This is now running around by itself, as a warrior can do. All the special rules, he takes his own motivation, everything go to this. And again, they both have to be reconnaissance to keep the reconnaissance. If there is no suitable tank team nearby, you might as well not even roll this, because he can't take anything over. So like this, well, he can't take over the enemy Stug. There's no other tank around him. He's dead. There's no reason to even roll this. Oh, now there's a reason to roll it. Warrior infantry, same thing. They can try to save themselves. As far as warrior infantry goes, and again, all of these are only if they get shot or assaulted. They get killed by being shot or get killed by being assaulted. Now, again, 4+ to destroy them. If failed to destroy them, you basically take over any other friendly team, infantry team, that's within command distance of the warrior, and replace it. So in this case, I'm going to take this out. So we got this, and here's my command. So we're looking at this situation. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So we're looking at this situation. This commander gets killed. Oh, well, this is my company command team. It's a warrior. So the opponent has to roll 4 or higher. He rolls a 5. It's dead. He rolls a 3. I basically do like that. He now grabs some of those men to add to him and go forward. You just replace one of these with the command team. And again, if there's no infantry team within command distance, it's dead. Warrior gun teams, and this can be mortars, machine guns, it can be these type of guns, okay? Command gun team. Same thing, shooting or assault is the only way they can be killed for this to happen. Not for morale check. 4+ to destroy, just like usual. If they don't, replace with any other friendly gun team equipped with the same weapon that is within command distance of the warrior team with the warrior gun team. So it's just like that what I did with the infantry, but they have to be another gun team with the same weapon. If that's not possible, don't even roll. He's destroyed. Transports, and again, they all have the same setup. They can only be destroyed by shooting or assault. Then they get a 4+ save. If the opponent does not make that 4+ save, so they rolled a 2, that's it. He's still on the board. He's in his little transports running around. So that's a little different with transports. There's not they take over another one or you replace it. It's just he's running around with this battered vehicle. So that's about how you can lose your warriors, but there's a possibility they still survive. I got a couple things to go, and then we are done. Because now hit allocation thing was a big thing, and then finding out how you destroy stuff is another. So remember when you lost your commander, and that platoon couldn't shoot. So, well, how do you get these guys running around again? All right, so you can appoint a new platoon commander. Now, how you do that is company commander, second in command, that has not joined. So this happens in the shooting step. So your company commander or second in command only. They have not joined a platoon in the shooting step, and they have not shot. May appoint any tank, infantry, gun team that is within command distance and from a platoon in their own company. Now that could include like attached things. We're just talking like it can't be an allied or something like that. That does what he does is he appoints a new command team. It basically says, you are the commander. Now they have a new commander. And since it's still the shooting step, they can shoot. The only person that can't shoot is that company commander. Now, if it's a tank team, it becomes a new platoon tank command team. Infantry and gun team replace it, like I just showed right there. So if these replacing, so we got these here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So we got these here. They've lost their commander. He goes, you are now commander. This is now command tank. And that might be where it's worth it to, I don't happen to have it here, but to have put back their original commanders sticking up so people know that that's your commander. But he can appoint any one of these as long as he hasn't joined another platoon and hasn't shot. And it's in the shooting step. And that's what you do with tanks. So with infantry, you actually replace the big stand with the company command stand, or with the platoon command stand. With tank, a lot of people just have the guy that's standing and take the old turret off and put the one that was originally the other commander. All right. If it's infantry or gun team, replace it with the commander. So if this was the situation and want to replace the commander for that, you can replace the gun. It seems that it's kind of a loss, but now they can move. So again, once that's done, they can still shoot. So the artillery can still shoot. It's just that the company commander, second in command, whoever appointed, that's all they're going to do that shooting step, is just appoint somebody, so they can't shoot. So just keep that in mind. Last thing, last thing, because this is a big subject, this allocating hits and everything. This is the very last thing. Yay! Bunker busters, shooting at buildings. Okay, so remember, bunker busters must be allocated to buildings before those out of building. So now, well, why? Well, when you hit a team in a building with a bunker buster, it hits every infantry and gun team in that building. Even though we only hit once in that building, it hit everybody in that building. Now, if it has multiple rooms, like first floor, second floor, or a big building like these ones that I got back here, they would be considered big buildings. And then normally you would play like they have multiple rooms. So if it has multiple rooms or target platoon is occupying several buildings, the shooting player may choose which room or building is hit. So in this case, if they're shooting and I got part of the platoon here stretched and part of the platoon here, that it can choose, does it hit this building or people in this building? So that's basically what it's saying with that bunker buster. So that is it. This is such a tough one to explain, but I hope you understand better about how to allocate those hits out, because that, again, that list can be pretty daunting, and I understand that. When I was trying to prepare this video, I was like, whew, boy, this is a tough subject. So, hope that helps you. It did help me to kind of go through this. So, I think next chapter is about artillery. So we'll be doing some shooting and hitting with artillery, which is going to be a lot easier subject than this was. This one, the shooting is a pretty intense subject because it's a huge part of the game. So, artillery should be the next one, and I'm hoping to get another battle report done too sometime soon. So, until next time, have a good game.